In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of Daybreak.
Preliminary remarks. This and the next surah were revealed on the same occasion and in the same event, as will be explained in the cause of revelation. Hafiz ibn al-Qayyim has therefore written their commentary together. He writes that their blessings and benefits are abundant. All the people require them and no one can dispense with them. They are very efficacious remedy for sorcery or magical spell, evil eye, and for all of the physical and spiritual calamities. In fact, if its reality is grasped fully, people will understand that they require it more than their breath, food, water, clothing, and everything else. Cause of revelation. Musnad of Ummah records that a Jewish person cast a magical spell on the Holy Prophet, as a result of which he fell ill. Jibril came to him and informed him that a particular Jew had cast a spell on him, that he had tied knots in his hair to accomplish this objective, and it is thrown into a particular well. The Holy Prophet sent some of his companions to bring it from the well Jibril had described. The Holy Prophet untied the knots, and he was instantly cured. Jibril informed him of the name of the Jew, and the Holy Prophet knew the culprit, but it was not in keeping with his compassionate disposition to avenge anyone in his personal matter. Therefore, this was never brought to the attention of the Jew guilty of the black magic, nor did any sign of complaint ever appear on the blessed face of the Holy Prophet. Being a hypocrite, he regularly attended the Holy Prophet's gatherings. The details of this incident are recorded in Sahih of Bukhari on the authority of Sayyid Aisha, may Allah be pleased with him, that a Jewish man cast a magic spell on the Holy Prophet, as a result of which he sometimes felt confused whether or not he had done something. One day the Holy Prophet said to Sayyid Aisha, may Allah be pleased with him, that Allah has shown him what his illness was, and added, 2 men came to me in my dream. One of them sat by my headside while the other sat by my feet, and the following conversation ensued. Question: what is wrong with this man? Answer: he is bewitched. Question: who has bewitched him? Answer: Lavid ibn Assam. He is a member of the tribe of Banu Zurich, who is an ally of the Jews, a hypocrite. Question: with what did he bewitch him? Answer: with a comb and hair from the comb. Question: where's the comb? Answer: in the dried bark of a male date palm under a rock in a well called Darwin. Sayyida Aisha, may Allah be pleased with him, says that the Holy Prophet went to the well to remove the comb with the hair and said, this is the well I was shown in my dream. He removed it from the well. Sayyida Aisha, may Allah be pleased with him, asked the Holy Prophet, will you not make this public? He replied, Allah has cured me and I hate to cause harm to anyone. This implies that the Holy Prophet did not want to be the cause of anyone's molestation, death, or destruction, because this is what would have exactly happened if the incident was publicized. According to a narration in Musnad of Ummah, this illness of the Holy Prophet lasted for 6 months. According to other narratives, some of the companions knew that this wicked act was performed by Lavid ibn Assam, and they courteously said to the Holy Prophet, why should we not kill this wicked person? He made the same reply to them as he did to Sayyida Aisha, may Allah be pleased with him. According to Imam Thalab's narration, a Jewish boy was the attendant of the Messenger of Allah. The hypocritical Jew flattered the boy and talked him into getting for him strands of the Prophet's hair from his comb and a few of its teeth. Having obtained these items, he tied 11 knots on a string, and a needle was stuck into each knot. Laban then placed the spell in the spathe of a male palm tree, and buried it under a stone in a well. On this occasion, the 2 surahs were revealed, comprising 11 verses. The Messenger of Allah recited 1 verse at a time, and untied 1 knot each time, until all the knots were untied, and he felt free from the tension of the witchcraft. All these narratives have been adapted from Ibn Kathir. Magic and its effect on the Holy Prophet. Some people are surprised that the Messenger of Allah should be affected by black magic. This is because some people do not have a complete grasp of how magic operates. It actually operates under physical causes, and the Messenger of Allah was not immune to the influence of physical causes, as for instance feeling the burning or heating sensation of fire, and feeling the cooling sensation of water, or certain natural factors causing fever or body temperature to rise, or other factors causing aches and pains and other illnesses. The Holy Prophet, or any other prophet for that matter, was not immune to the effects of such natural or physical causes. They can be affected by the hidden operations of magic, which are no less natural or physical. Please see Surah Al-Baqarah, Maarif-ul-Qur'an, Vol. 1, p. for fuller explanation, especially p. 276 on magic and prophets. Mawadatain are surahs that afford protection against physical and spiritual afflictions. It is a settled doctrine of every believer that Allah is the intrinsic cause of every gain and loss in this world as well as in the next world. Without the divine will not a jot of gain or loss can be caused to anyone. The only way to fortify against all physical and spiritual injuries and harm is for man to place himself under the protection of Allah, and by his actions he should attempt to make himself capable of entering the divine shelter. Surah Al-Falaq directs how to seek the divine protection against worldly calamities, and Surah An-Nas tells the way to seek divine protection against the calamities of the hereafter. Virtues of Mawadatain. Sahih of Muslim records a tradition on the authority of Sayyid ibn Amir, may Allah be pleased with him, who reports that the Messenger of Allah said, "Do you not see that there have been revealed to me verses tonight, the like of which has not been seen before? Those are Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas." According to another narration, the like of Mawadatain is not revealed even in Torah, Injil, or Zabur or anywhere else in the Quran. Another narration of Sayyid ibn Amir, may Allah be pleased with him, reports that the Messenger of Allah taught him Mawadatain while they were on a journey. Then he recited them in the Maghrib Salah and said, "Recite these two surahs whenever you go to sleep and whenever you get up." Nasi, according to another report, the Messenger of Allah has advised people to recite these two surahs after every salah, transmitted by Abu Dawud and Nasai. Imam Malik, may Allah have mercy on him, recorded from Sayyidah Aisha, may Allah be pleased with him, whenever the Messenger of Allah suffered from an ailment, he would recite the Mawadatain, blow over his hands, and then wiped his whole body with those hands. When his pain became acute on his death bed, I would recite the Mawadatain, blow over his hands, and then he wiped them over himself, because my hands could not be the fitting substitute for his blessed hands. All these narratives have been adapted from Ibn Kathir. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Qubayd, may Allah be pleased with him, reports that it was raining one night and the sky had become intensely dark. We went out looking for the Messenger of Allah, and when he was found, he said, "Say." He asked, "What should I say?" He said, "Recite and Mawadatain." Reciting them thrice in the morning and thrice in the evening will fortify you against all kinds of perturbations. In sum, it was the practice of the Messenger of Allah and his companions to recite these two surahs to protect themselves against all types of privations, trials and tribulations of life in this world, as well as of life in the next world. Lexicological analysis of important words and interpretation of the surah. Verse Surah Al-Falaq, Ayah 1, say, "I seek refuge with the Lord of the daybreak." The word falaq means to split or cleave, and here it is used in the sense of break of dawn. In another verse, a similar quality of Allah is used in Surah Al-An'am, Ayah 96. He is the one who causes the dawn to break. Of all the divine attributes, this particular attribute is used presumably because the darkness of night often causes evils and difficulties, and the daylight removes them. This attribute of Allah points to the fact that anyone who seeks protection in Allah, He will remove all afflictions from him. Mashari.
From the evil of that which He created.
The word Shar Alama ibn Qayyim's exposition. Verse Surah Al-Falaq, Ayah 2, from the evil of everything He has created. Allama ibn Qayyim expounds that the word shar, evil, is employed in two different senses: pain, loss, injury, trouble, grief, distress, and affliction which affect man directly. And they are by themselves troubles and afflictions and the factors that cause losses, injuries, and afflictions. The second type covers unbelief, idolatry, and all sins. The things from which the Quran and Sunnah require man to seek refuge in Allah are either of these two types. The traditional supplication that is masnan after salat includes seeking of refuge from four things: punishment of the grave, punishment of the hellfire, hardships and privations of life, and trials and tribulations of death. Of these, the first two are afflictions and punishments in their own right, and the last two are causes of afflictions and punishments. Verse Surah Al-Falaq, Ayah 2, from the evil of everything He has created, covers the evil of the entire creation. This verse was sufficient to guard against all mischief and calamities. But three particular forms of evil have been singled out to seek protection, which often cause calamities and afflictions. The first thing singled out appears in verse Surah Al-Falaq, Ayat 3, and from the evil of dark night, when it penetrates. The word gasik is derived from gasak, to become dark or intensely dark. Thus say, Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, Hassan and Mujahid say that the word gasik stands for night. The verb wakaba is derived from wukwo, which means for utter darkness to overspread completely and intensely. The verse means, I seek refuge in Allah from the night when its darkness has completely and intensely overspread. The word night has been specifically mentioned because this is the time when jinn, shaitans, harmful insects, animals, and reptiles appear. Thieves and robbers emerge at this time to carry out their crimes of stealing and other acts of wickedness. The enemies attack at this time. Black magic has the worst effect when it is intensely dark at night. As soon as the dawn approaches, the effects of all these things disappear and fade away. Allama ibn Qayyim. First Surah Al-Falaq, Ayah 4, and from the evil of the women who blow on the knots. The word nafathat is derived from nath, which means to blow. The word uqad is the plural of uqda, which means a knot. The magicians usually tie knots on a string or piece of thread, recite magical incantations or formulae, and blow on them as they do so. The phrase, the women who blow on the knots, refers to female magicians. It is possible that the pre-adjectival noun of the adjective nafathat be nufis, souls. Thus this verse may be translated as the evil souls who blow on knots. This translation would include men and women who carry out this evil practice. But most probably its pre-adjectival noun is womenfolk. Women have been specifically mentioned perhaps because generally womenfolk have a natural disposition to carry out the evil practice of witchcraft, or probably because Labid ibn Asam, whose black magic was the cause of revelation of this surah, got this most heinous act done by his daughters. Hence, the act of witchcraft is ascribed to them. The reason why protection is sought against magicians is firstly that the cause of revelation of these two surahs was the incident of magic. Secondly, people are normally unaware of the act of magicians, and they do not pay attention to getting themselves exorcised. They are under the impression that it is some kind of medical ailment and try to get themselves medically cured. In the meantime, the magical effect continues to grow worse. The third thing from which people are asked specifically to seek protection is hasad, jealous, and hasad, jealousy. This has been specified for the same reasons as given above, because black magic was worked on the Prophet on account of jealousy. The Jews and the hypocrites could not bear to see the rapid progress and expansion of Islam. They could not defeat him in outer combat, therefore they tried to satisfy their jealousy by performing witchcraft on him. There were uncountable number of green-eyed monsters against the Prophet. That is the major reason why protection was sought against them. Jealousy of the jealous one gives him restless days and sleepless nights. He is at all times after causing loss to his envied person. Therefore the harm he wishes to inflict is severe. Hasad, jealousy, and gib to envy. The Arabic word hasad, the English equivalent of which is jealousy, is invariably used in the bad sense. It generally means to desire the deprivation of the other man, rather than one's own acquisition of any bliss that he may possess. Simply put, hasad means that a person should feel unhappy at the better fortune and good quality that Allah has granted to another, and wishes that it should be taken away from the other person and given to him, or at least the other should be deprived of it. Hasad in this sense is totally forbidden and a major sin. This is the first sin that was committed in the heaven, and also the first one committed on the earth. The Iblis was jealous of Adam in the heaven, and the latter son Kabil was jealous of his brother Habil on earth. Quatubai. Gibta, on the other hand, means to desire for oneself the same blessing as the other man has, without any idea of the latter's losing it. This is not only permissible, but also desirable. Summary and conclusion. Apart from the general protection that is sought in this surah, protection is sought from three specific evils. These are mentioned separately in verses 3, 4, and 5. Furthermore, in the first and the third specific evils particular restrictions are placed. The first specific evil, gasic darkness, is restricted by the phrase when it penetrates. The third specific evil, hid, is restricted by the phrase when he envies. The practice of witchcraft is left unrestricted because its harmful effect is general. The harmful effect of darkness is felt when there is total absence of light, plunging the night in intense and utter darkness. Likewise, jealousy may not cause harm to its object until the jealous one takes a practical step with word or deed to satisfy his heart. For until he takes a practical step, his being unhappy may be harmful to himself, but it is not harmful for the other person, so that he may seek refuge from it. Hence, restrictions are placed on the first and the third specific evils.
And from the evil of darkness when it settles.
See Surah Al-Falaq, Ayah 2, for the Tafsir.
And from the evil of the blowers in knots.
See Surah Al-Falaq, Ayah 2, for the Tafsir.
And from the evil of an envier when he envies.
See Surah Al-Falaq, Ayah 2 for the Tafsir.